Thought I might just talk about whatever. Dunno, nothing in particular. Just get my thoughts across of what I'm thinking. What I do think sometimes is it's like, why do I make these videos? Because I think a lot of the time making these videos is like an addiction like no other. I mean, like any other. It's an addiction like any other, like alcohol or weed or food, watching TV shows. Anything can be an addiction. An addiction is not the substance. An addiction is about an avoidance of reality or about a resistance towards it. And I think a lot of the time I make these videos because I'm bored, because I'm resisting life. I mean, what am I going to talk about? There's nothing to talk about. Like, honestly, what's the point in talking? I mean, sometimes I feel like I've got something to say. Like, sometimes I have the intention, like, oh, I'm keen to make a video. Like, sometimes it comes from a place of actual authentic desire. But a lot of the time, like, now I feel the intention is coming from boredom and an avoidance of something. But anyway, here I am now, stroking my ego. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of just wanted to talk about what's been going on. So I've been meditating an hour a day for 6 days so far. An hour in the morning. I usually do more. I usually do like another half hour. But it's quite difficult. It's really quite difficult because I don't feel like my intention to meditate is strong enough. You know, you need a reason to meditate. You need a reason to do anything. And if the reason's not strong enough for you, then you know you're not going to do it. It's as simple as that, you know. Is it an authentic desire that you have? It's difficult. Because, you know, I feel like meditation is like it's like that's what I want more than anything. Like freedom and truth. But, you know, when the time actually comes for me to investigate my sensate reality, what happens is that I just don't want to. Now, enlightenment is a very real thing. Awakening is a very real thing. I mean, so I've been told, but I've definitely had glimpses and insights into enlightenment, and I definitely believe it's an achievable goal. According to the Theravada Buddhism map, the four-path model, this is what I'm going on, you know. And with this model, enlightenment isn't some perfect thing where, you know, you're in a state of bliss and everything's always pleasant. It's just about knowing the true nature of the sensations that make up your world. It's as simple as that. It's really basically knowing that you can't know truth, and therefore, you know, that's the truth in a way. Like, you can't know anything outside of yourself. Well, not yourself, but you can't know anything outside of the sensations that are right in front of you directly. You can't know anything other than the appearances, other than the sensations that present themselves in your field of experience. And so with this model, enlightenment is basically just taking yourself out of experience, disembedding from experience, disidentifying from experience, from all sensations, including thoughts and emotions and concepts and stories and knowledge, anything that's in your field of experience. Take yourself out of it. You take the you out of it, so there is no self anymore. It's just the raw sensations. So it's a very achievable goal, because it's your true nature. Because it's true, because it's legit. This is not a fantasy or a fairy tale. Actually, how you're living, how I'm living, is a fantasy and a fairy tale. I'm fabricating a story and overlaying that onto reality and calling it real, calling it truth. But that's the fantasy, that's the fairy tale. So what I'm trying to do is get back to my true nature, to strip away all the bullshit, to strip away all the fantasies. So it's a very achievable goal, because it's something that is legit. But so basically what I've been doing is meditating, doing noting practice, Vipassana really, trying to see clearly into the true nature of sensations that make up my world. And yeah, it's like a lot of the time do I actually want to do that. So I've been 6 days where I've been meditating an hour, and this is the longest I've ever done it. Prior to these 6 days, I've meditated an hour twice. But other than that, it's very challenging. Which is saying something, because we've got so many hours in the day. Like, we spend so many hours playing games and eating food and watching TV, and spend so many hours doing things that aren't really productive for our lives, that aren't really going anywhere in our lives. And yet we can't just sit down for 1 hour and do nothing, and not even move. Like, that's saying something about our lives, saying something about my life. But anyway, so I notice a lot in meditation, I get into these waves of like trying to put effort in, trying to really like make something happen. I'm like grasping at some meditative experience. I'm grasping at something other than what's right here and right now. I'm trying to get somewhere. I'm trying to avoid this moment constantly. And that's what you'll find in meditation, is that you're like never present. And that's the goal of meditation, is to be present, to be here now, to accept what's here. What you'll find when you start doing meditation is that you really fucking can't. You really resist what's happening. And you really don't know what is happening, because it's so habitual. You've lost your awareness. So, yeah, been finding myself getting into waves of like, resisting the moment, and trying to get the technique right, and just avoiding the moment. And eventually I get sick of it and I surrender, and then the sensations that are arising in the moment present themselves to me effortless, and then the practice becomes a lot easier. So you think like normally, like you put more effort in, you get more out of something, but in a lot of cases it's ease up the effort and things will be easier and you'll get things done better than if you were to put effort in. It's the right balance. You've got to find, you don't want to be fully effortless, but you don't want to be fully putting in effort. You just got to find that right balance. So yeah, like I said, this is really what I want to do in my life, is stop fucking resisting life, because it's all I've got. This moment's all I've got. It's nothing else, I don't want to just live life sleepwalking. I don't want to just have life pass me by, I want to actually live. I'm here now, and it's like, I didn't ask to be born, but I exist now, and it's like, well, I better fucking accept it. How many of us actually resist existence? Resist existing. A lot of people probably say they don't resist existing, but if you look hard enough and deep enough, you are resisting life to a fucking extraordinary level. A fucking ton. Because the thing is, if you weren't resisting life, you would be enlightened. Enlightenment is basically, I suppose, 0% resistance. Like 100% accepting what is true, what is actually reality. Anything that our mind overlays onto reality and pretending that to be true is resistance, is denial. And it can be anything. It can be something bad, or it can be good. Like it can be, like, oh, I'm terrible, or the next day it can be like, oh, I'm great. Both things are not true. You're overlaying a fantasy onto reality, believing in it. It's really fucking difficult. And the tough thing is that if you don't know you're in prison, then you're not going to have any desire to be free, because you think you are free. And this is the tricky thing with trying to, I suppose, attain enlightenment, or trying to strip yourself away from all the bullshit, is that you can't see that it's bullshit. So what are you stripping away? So it's like you meditate and you keep thinking like, why am I meditating? What am I actually doing here? What's the point in all this? Because a lot of the time, I think that, how I experience reality is reality. I'm free. I am, but yeah, it's like if you're really, really trapped if you don't even know that you're trapped. Like, if you know that you're trapped, if you know you're in prison, then there's hope. Because you know you're in, like, a fucking cell and you want to break out, and so you strive to break out. But if you don't know you're in prison, then you just accept that this is reality. And that's sad. That's fucked. Imagine being born into a prison cell and never stepping outside, never going outside. And, to people on the outside looking in, they'll say, oh my God, I can't believe this person is trapped. Like, he's never been outside. But this person that has never been outside doesn't know an outside, so it doesn't think it's trapped. This person doesn't think they're trapped. So, and I suppose you could say, ignorance is bliss. What you don't know can't hurt you. But the thing is that, and so yeah, that's true. I suppose that's true for most people. Is that a lot of people don't really have any kind of spiritual glimpses. A lot of people are just kind of sleepwalking through life. But when you do have a glimpse, like, back to this analogy, like, if this person in the prison cell, like, was walking past and got a glimpse of a window and saw outside and saw all the trees and the hills and the sunlight, all this, he'd be like, whoa, what the fuck was that? And then he got thrown back into his prison cell. He'd be like, whoa, fuck, there's more to life than this. And that's when life becomes quite a struggle, because it's like, once you know, once you see, you can't unsee. Once you fucking open Pandora's box, you cannot close it. So it's all well and good if you never see the outside and the sunlight, because what you don't know can't hurt you. But when you do see it, just for a split second, then you're in for a fucking ride. You're in for a fucking journey, because you can't just deny yourself anymore. You have to be true to yourself. You know too much now, and you have to fucking break out of that prison and get to the sunlight. Which causes even more suffering than if you didn't know there was sunlight in the first place. Because now you know there's something, and you're struggling to get to it. But once you do get to it, then all the suffering is gone. So yeah, anyway, that's me.